Hi everyone, it's Sophie here, the Sleep Genie from shuteye.co.uk, and I'm going to talk to you about the clocks changing because they are falling back at the end of this month. I get asked questions all the time, how do we manage this? So I have put together a handout for you which goes into 3 different strategies that you can choose to follow to manage the time difference with your child or children. So the first strategy is do nothing, a cold turkey approach, which is don't make any changes, get through until the Sunday morning when you wake up, the clocks have changed, and you just roll with the new times, knowing that your child will be going to sleep about an hour later than what they usually would. The second strategy is to adjust in advance. So starting a week before the clocks change, you would gradually move your little one's bedtime forward, so by about 10 minutes every day, so that their bedtime kind of like the day before, so on that Saturday night before the clocks change, their bedtime is about 50 minutes later than what it was at the beginning of the week. So when the clocks change the next day, they're back to their normal bedtime. And the third strategy is very similar to that, but it's kind of a gradual adjustment. So you might have left it a little bit late and forgotten that the clocks are changing, or you don't really want to start a whole week in advance. So you might start on the Tuesday and Wednesday and then gradually move bedtime backwards 10 minutes. And so you're not entirely on the correct time on the Sunday when the clocks change, but you're only sort of halfway or half an hour off of what your child was doing before. Now, all of the details on those strategies are in the handout, which you can find the link to below this blog post. But just some advice in terms of what one might be right for you. I guess if you have quite an easygoing child who are quite flexible and adaptable, strategy 1, just doing nothing, will probably work okay for you, and things will sort of sort themselves out over a number of days or a week. If your child is much more sensitive to their sleep needs and their routine, then I would say, trying to sort it out in advance and trying to take some action to think, okay, this is coming. We don't want to be left with an early morning shocker on that Sunday or that Monday morning. Then it might be an idea for you to kind of choose strategies 2 and 3. If you have more than one child, then I would suggest kind of going with a strategy that suits the least flexible child, whether that's twins or siblings or whatever it is, and get the more easygoing ones just to go along with their brother or sister. For working parents, and I'm sure the majority of you out there are working, to again avoid that early morning shocker on the Monday morning. The Sunday morning is not so bad, is it? Because we're not at work. Well, probably a lot of you are not at work. Some maybe are, but the majority might be at work on a Monday morning, and your child might have been a 6 o'clock riser, which is normal. Anything from 6 o'clock is sort of perfectly reasonable, I say, for a young child. But all of a sudden that 6 o'clock then becomes 5 a.m, which is a shocker for that Monday morning. So if you are working, again, try and give yourself a bit of a favour by starting to implement some changes in advance of the clocks changing. Expect for things not to, slot into place quickly. It is a process that we need to follow. So actually starting a week in advance and then you've kind of got the week following the changes would mean that everything's kind of settled in that amount of time. There will be bumps along that road. So if your child is still quite young and taking naps, make sure that those naps are of really good quality. Try not to skip them, if you're doing things out and about, and offer extra naps if you feel necessary. If your child, is an early riser and they've been getting up super early and you want to try and stretch them to that later bedtime, try offering an extra nap or let them sleep for longer to help them get through to the end of the day when bedtime will feel like a little bit later for them. For those of you that do have early rising problems, again, I'm going to put a little link at the bottom of the blog post here for you, because I'm just about to launch my Early Rising Kids Solution e-course for you guys, which is a course solely dedicated to the horrible and very common thing that is early rising. So if you're interested in more details about that, follow the link below, because it's just about to launch very soon, and there'll be lots of bonuses and freebies for you when I do launch. And obviously, if you've got a 6 o'clock riser now, as I say, that might go forward to or backwards to 5 o'clock once the clock changes. And early waking kids is a really, really difficult thing to change without support. So yeah, let me know if you're interested in that. But if not, download the strategy guide that I have for you. Put a reminder in your phones when you need to start making those adjustments, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it won't be too bad for you. But I hope that's helpful, and share with your friends who have got children as well, so that they can get on top and be prepared for falling back. All right, guys, take care. See you soon. Bye.